Exeter.
Welcome to Next Stop Exeter. I'm Paul Nicholson.
I'm Frank Ferraro.
I'm Ben Belanger.
And I'm Griffin Poutre.
Every other week, Next Stop Exeter will bring you news of Exeter community affairs.
Our intent is to educate and inform the people of Exeter about what's going on in town. This week, we visit opening day at the Farmers Market held at Exeter High School, and from there we go to St. Vincent dePaul's Community Center to see what's going on at the Community Center. Joining us to do that is Griffin Poutre, who takes us back to the high school for opening day of the Farmers Market.
Hello, this is Griffin Poutre reporting at Exeter High School at the Winter Farmers Market, and I'm here with Sarah Zoe Patterson, who's on the board of directors of Seacoast Eat Local, which is the sponsor of this event. So tell me, Sarah Zoe, when did this farmers market get started?
Sure, well, the winter markets got started in 2007, but our first winter at the Exeter High School was 2009-2010. And we had been looking for bigger spaces, and we thought that this would be a great match. This beautiful new high school has this great space in this cafeteria, and we love the location for all sorts of people, and we wanted to be in the Exeter community.
Now, how many vendors are here today?
There are 48 vendors here today, and they run the gamut from lots of vegetable growers and meat producers to someone selling mushrooms that they grew in New Hampshire, and a chocolate company that uses New Hampshire dairy and other flavorings grown in New Hampshire for their ingredients.
Nice. Now, what qualifications does one need to sell their produce at the farmer's market?
Sure. So every vendor has to grow their own food or make their own food if they're making baked goods or cheese or something like that. And all of the foods that are prepared foods have to include locally grown ingredients. All of the vendors here have to be able to prepare a really robust display. These are busy markets, and so we have to have plenty of food available for the customers that come.
Alrighty. Now, is space an issue at the farmer's market with how much space each farmer can take up? Or?
Space is an issue. It's an issue in that the spaces themselves are smaller than the spaces that vendors would have at an outdoor market. Vendors here have to squish into tighter spaces. Our largest spaces are 8 feet by 10 feet here at the market. And the other thing that's an issue is just being able to fit in as many vendors as we would like. It's a competitive process to be a participant in the market, and we can't, unfortunately, accept all of the farmers and vendors that apply and would like to participate. We just don't have the space to fit them in.
Now, for how many weeks does the market go until?
The winter markets run from November through April. We also run markets at Wentworth Greenhouses in Rollinsford. And the market in Exeter is pretty much once a month. So we're here today, and then we're here mostly the second Saturdays of the month. The schedule varies a little. See our website for details.
Alrighty.
Thank you, Sarah Zoe. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I hope that people who have never been to a winter market will give it a try. I think it surprises a lot of people to know that there are such things as winter markets, and that they're indoors, you don't have to brave the cold, and that you can eat lettuce and spinach and fresh local eggs all year long. and to know that, you know, your grocery shopping dollars can really make a difference to our local economy and the environment.
We're here speaking with Susan of the Root Cellar in Nottingham. Tell me, Susan, what do you have in your stand here?
We grow 12 different varieties of dried beans, and we do, we do 7 acres of beans, 5 acres of potatoes. We do maple syrup in the winter and onions, garlic. Yep.
So you have maple syrup here as well?
Yep. We start tapping our trees usually around Valentine's Day, if the weather permitting, and we go right up until April, and we tap 1,300 trees.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It is, yep. We burn about 40 cords of firewood per year.
Oh, wow.
Just doing the maple.
Alrighty, so do you come to every farmer's market?
We come to we do 7 farmers markets in the summer per week, and in the wintertime we do Tilton, Exeter, Rollinsford, we do Newmarket, and we also do another one that we do. I don't remember which one it is.
Alrighty. Now, how long have you been coming here?
This is our 2nd year.
Right.
Yep.
Do you receive any input from consumers on what you make for products?
Well, we hear that our beans cook faster, and they take less time to cook because they are so fresh. This is 2014 crop, and we usually sell out every year.
All right.
So it's nice and fresh.
Well, thank you for your time, and have a good day.
Thank you.
We're here with Nicole from Throwback Brewery in Northampton. So Nicole, tell me a little bit about your brewery.
We make beer down the street in Northampton. We try and get all of our ingredients from within 200 miles of the brewery. So we're featuring a lot of ingredients you can find out here at the farmer's market, from wheat from Brookford Farm. We have jalapenos from New Roots Farm that made into chipotle. So a whole wide range of ingredients that we use to make our beer.
Alrighty. Now, do you come to every farmer's market?
We are at every winter farmers market in Exeter and also in Rollinsford.
Now, how long have you been coming to these events?
It's been about a year and a half. When we started, we've been in business for 3 years. When we started our business, we weren't allowed to sell beer at the market, so we worked with one of our reps so that we can get a law passed so we could sell beer here.
Right.
Otherwise, we would have been selling it here a lot earlier.
Alrighty. Now, do you get a lot of consumer input for your products?
We
for
do.
Ideas?
Yeah, well, actually, we get a lot of inspiration from what the farmers have around here to what types of beers we want to make. So, Wake Robin Farm has ginger. We use that in our cranberry ginger beer, for example.
Now, Nicole, I saw that your brewery was mentioned in the Wall Street Journal. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
It's hard to measure stuff like that. I mean, we've had some fair amount of success. We were on PBS actually recently, and there was a bigger bump from that for sure. We're on Growing a Greener World, which is fun.
So, what's the latest news with Throwback Brewery?
We have a new brewery under construction right across the street from our current brewery. We have a 5,000 square foot barn called Hobbs Farm. It's a beautiful property. Hopefully April timeframe we'll move the brewery over there, go from a 3 to a 15 barrel system, larger tasting room, and start planting more of our own ingredients on the farm.
We're here speaking with Jeff from the New Hampshire Mushroom Company in Tamworth, New Hampshire. Now, Jeff, this is quite the interesting display. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you're selling?
We're New Hampshire Mushroom Company, and we're located in Tamworth, which is on the way to North Conway. And we've been in business just a little over 2 years, and we're producing well over 1,000 pounds of mushrooms every week. And at this point, we believe we're the largest mushroom farm in New England, and New Hampshire Organic certified. And right now, we're growing mushrooms that we're exporting to Massachusetts, Maine, Vermont. And we're supplying several Whole Foods locations and direct sales to about 100 restaurants. So we're having a lot of fun doing it.
Very sweet. Now, I just have one question.
Yes.
What is the process of cultivating mushrooms? So you have a mushroom farm?
Yes, we take plastic bags like these and we fill them with a growth substrate which we make ourselves out of sawdust and grain. And we sterilize that medium. and once it's cooled down, then we inoculate it with the spores, or the spawn rather, of the species we're trying to grow. And then anywhere from 17 days to 85 days later, in this case, you have a crop that you can harvest and enjoy.
So all these mushrooms are cultivated on the farm, or do you go in the woods anywhere to find
some of these are foraged. These are black trumpets, and these can't be cultivated because they have complex relationships with nearby trees.
Thank you very much for your time.
We're here with Jeff from the New Roots Farm in Newmarket. Now, Jeff, can you tell me, what do you sell on your farm?
Typically, we do grass-fed meats. We do grass-fed lamb, grass-fed beef, pasture-raised pork, pasture-raised poultry, and about half of our operation is certified organic vegetables. So, stay pretty busy.
Now, how long have you been coming to this farmer's market?
This farmer's market, I think, this market at this scale is probably the 5th winter here, maybe the 4th winter at the high school, and then these series of winter markets have been going on for a little while outside before they came here. So yeah, it's been a nice run.
Now, what other farmers markets do you go to?
In the winter time, we're at the Rollinsford Farmers Market, also in the Seacoast Eat local family of markets, and in the summer, we're at the Exeter Summer Farmers Market, the Portsmouth Farmers Market, and a variety of others on a part-time basis. So, yeah.
Now, tell me, what is the difference in both taste and quality and healthiness for grass-fed?
Grass-fed meats, you're going to find a couple of different things. The fat profile is typically a little bit different than you would see with grain-fed meats, particularly on the ruminants, the cows and the lambs. They were never really intended to eat processed grain to begin with, so when they have a natural diet, what we often have is people tell us that they have a lovely flavor or a different flavor. I say it's not a different flavor, it's that they have flavor, and so we think there's a real kind of natural robustness to that. The fat profile is a lot healthier. It tends to be a leaner meat, even though the fats associated with it are healthy, and it tends to be a denser and more finely grained meat.
Whereabouts in Newmarket are you located?
We're out in the far northwest corner of town, so we're right where Newmarket, Epping, and Lee come together, out in the middle of a big block of conservation land. We're kind of hidden away, which is why we like to come out here and bring our stuff to the folks rather than having them have to find us and track us down. And it's also nice to get a chance to come and chat with familiar faces and things like that. We're on a first name basis with a lot of people that are walking around right now, and that's definitely one of the benefits of doing this kind of way of life to me. I love having these connections. So.
This has been Griffin Boutray reporting from the Winter Farmers Market here at Exeter High School.
Griffin, great job on the farmers market, but you're not done just yet. You need to head down to Lincoln Street to check out what's going on at the St. Vincent de Paul Community Assistance Center. Take it away, Griffin.
Hello, this is Griffin Boutray, and I'm reporting from the St. Vincent de Paul's Community Assistance Center. Today we'll be speaking with Cleo Castingway, the president of St. Vincent de Paul's, and Molly Zarillo, the executive director. The St. Vincent de Paul in Exeter is a non-profit organization that has served the residents of Exeter, Brentwood, East Kingston, Kensington, and Stratham for 25 years. They assist more than 3,000 clients per week. The volunteer organization annually distributes the equivalent of $750,000 in food. That's more than 180,000 meals. The Hannaford Supermarket, right here in Exeter, donates bread, meat, and pastry to St. Vincent de Paul. All of this meat is donated by Hannaford?
Correct. That's great. Yeah. Every day, along with the produce and pastries and breads. Some days we'll have 30 to 40 boxes.
So, tell me about the new van.
This is a new van. It was given to us by the Exeter Area New Car Dealers Association. It is brand new. It's a 3/4 ton. It has I am 6'2", and I can stand up in this thing. And we've had it for just about not quite a month yet, and we've already put over 1,000 miles just running around town picking up food in order to resupply ourselves. By the end of this year, by December 31st, we believe we'll be way over 300,000 pounds of food which we'll be giving out. And a lot of that has to be brought in. And this is one means to be able to do it. And so we're very thankful for this donation.
A recent addition to St. Vincent de Paul's arsenal is this dental care bus, which was recently donated by Exeter Hospital.
This is the inside of our dental van, which was donated to us by Exeter Hospital. We're about one of the only ones in the state, if not northern New England, and we're collaborating with Families First. And so they are providing a dentist, an assistant, and a nurse on Fridays to man this. This is probably going to be one of our better programs going around because no one is helping the needy with oral care. This facility here, right here, as you can see, we have 2 chairs, x-rays. It's about do anything in this office here that you can at your regular office. So we're very happy that we can provide this service.
Cleo, can you tell me about any of the other services you provide here at St. Vincent de Paul's?
We learned a long time ago that since all of us are volunteers that we needed some help. And so we decided we would collaborate with professionals. This does a couple of things, is that the professionals are paid by someone, so it helps with our budget. And we were able to provide a full service at the facility. So for instance, on Mondays we have a homeless outreach person. Last year here in Exeter, we had 65 homeless. I believe we're going to be over that this year. On Tuesdays we have a program that's called VITA, V-I-T-A, and they come in and do their taxes, all free. We also have at the same time Medicaid we can help them fill out those forms. On Wednesdays we have Families First out of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, which sends over their doctor, a nurse, and a social worker, and they're here in order to be able to help on the health side. They also provide a mental health person for those who do need it. On Thursdays we have the weatherization program and fuel assistance, and all of those are done in this office, along with on Fridays we have a person from Portsmouth who works for the Employment Security Office that helps our clients get jobs and anything else that they can need. Whatever they can do in Portsmouth and Concord, we can now do right here out of this office. At the same time, we also, as you saw a little while ago, we have a dental staff also from Portsmouth that brings in a dentist, an assistant, and nurse in order to be able to help with their oral health problems.
Thanks, Griffin. Joining us today here in studio is Cleo Gastingway, the president of the St. Vincent de Paul Community Assistance Center. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
So Cleo, tell me a little bit about the history of your organization.
Well, the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, and you probably noticed I said society for English majors, is that we started in France. And so, many of our acronyms are still used. The French, for instance, we're not an agency, but we're a conference. There is approximately 1,600 conferences in the United States. And the United States, they were started in 1845. In Exeter, we've been here since 1989, so we're on our 26th year.
So you've been in Exeter for 26 years. You've been on Lincoln Street for only a portion of that time.
Correct.
Where were you before that?
We were on, St. Michael's Parish allowed us to use one of their rooms in their building on Linden Street, which is known in town as the Michael House. So we had the basement for our food provisions, and we're given 2 offices on a first floor.
Gotcha. So flash forward roughly 20 years, and you've got a new address on Lincoln Street.
Correct.
Tell me a bit about that.
Well, we needed to expand, and we've known that for a while. We looked at 13 places around town, and it just didn't fit. So this is our 14th. The reason is the problem is that, especially with the food pantry, we always have between 45 to 60 people who are on foot. They have no means of transportation. So we had to find a place which was centrally located that they could easily access by bike, by foot, or whatever.
Or by train, for that matter, correct?
Or by train. We have a few by that. That's true.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So you're located in a very convenient location. We talk about people being able to walk or bike or drive to your facility. Tell me a bit about your client base. Are they typically all Exeter residents, or are they people from Rockingham County or from beyond Rockingham County?
Right now we are, our mandate for us for the food pantry and for financial assistance from our conference is SAU 16. So the 6 towns which comprise it. But however, we collaborate with many other agencies, which I've described before, and those who need health, dental, fuel assistance, and so forth, from outside of our SAU 16 can certainly use our facility, and which they do. They do. Yeah.
Well, speaking of your facility, it was formerly a bank.
Correct.
Bank goes on the market. It's been available for several months. Tell me a bit about the discovery process for the bank.
Well, it was one of those. I had never been in it, so a number of people kept asking me to take a look at it, and it just seemed too small. And so, however, it got to a point where we were running out of options, and so finally I made a phone call to the realtor in the morning, and in the afternoon he let me see the facility, and then I had I saw there was a drive-through which had 4 spaces, and it quickly figured out that if we enclosed the drive-through, we could turn that into our food provision, and so that kind of made sense, and so we went down that road.
So is it fair to say that at some point in time you hired an architect to take a look at this space and say, here's how we can maximize the potential for this space?
Well, I'm an engineer, and so, but I've always thought I should have been an architect. I was the architect on this project.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And so as a result, have you been brought in by other organizations to say, hey, Cleo, we need you to come up with something for our building?
Well, ironically, I am right now on the facilities committee for the YMCA. But on that one, I'm mostly doing the heating and air conditioning portion of it. So, yeah, but I'm very involved in that one.
So when you look at that space, was it originally on the premise that you were just going to be distributing foodstuffs from that space, or did you already have in the back of your mind, we're going to be dealing with other items to share with our clients?
Because we're known as Vincentians, our mission is to help people. That is our primary mission. And so the way it works out is the food portion of it, the food bank or the food pantry, is a means to an end. And which is one of my highlights right now is that we just finished a milestone. And to put that into perspective, when we were on Linden Street 26 years ago, prior to that, if you need food from the St. Michael's Parish, you went to the rectory and they had a very small closet in the hallway, and that was the total amount of food that was in there that was available. I can still remember the day on Linden Street when we came up and we had 30,000 pounds of food, which we had given out. And that was, it was just unbelievable. We couldn't believe that we had given that much. Monday we closed our books, and as of Monday we gave out, last year in 2014, we gave out 367,000 pounds of food. And so in 26 years, we tenfold what we were doing just previously. The other thing which the general public should know is the retail value for that, if we had to go out and buy it, or you and I had to go out and buy it, is a little over $1.1 million, which means that $1 million, it can be used so they can pay for their apartments or their mortgage, their utilities, gas to put into the car, and so forth. And so that's where it really kind of helps out.
So 1/3 of a million pounds of food in 2014, yet you're not the only organization within Exeter that supplies foodstuffs to people in need, correct?
Well, in those days, there was 2 or 3. Now we are the only ones.
You are the only ones now?
Yeah, it is. The Congregational Church used to do it. However, there are very few actually in the seacoast that have our ability, because we give out perishables such as eggs, milk, meat, and so forth, and none of the others can do anything like that. Also, because of our nature, we are a Christian organization. You might have heard 2,000 years ago, our leaders said to us, if you give them a fish, you only fed them for a day. But if you teach them how to fish, you fed them for life. And so that is our mission, is not only helping them out for this particular aspect, but to be able to teach them how to fish and to get work and do all of these other things.
Tell me a bit about the people who are donating to the food bank in terms of, just residents in town. Are they, for the most part, all your donations come from at the personal level, from people in town, from people within SAU 16, people who have retired, move away, continue to support the organization? Tell me a bit about the demographic of people who support the organization.
It's a great question. The demographic-wise, ironically, we do have some. We have a couple individuals that live in Arizona, and their donation goes through United Way Arizona, and they are obligated to pass it on to us. We have some from Florida. But the majority of the people are Exeter residents and Exeter corporations.
So if some people would love to support the organization, don't have the financial means to support the organization, is there a way they can come in and help during the day? Is there something that they can do?
Oh, absolutely. Right now there's over 140 of us, which sounds like that's a lot of volunteers. We're probably one of the largest around. However, we need 52 to 57 volunteers every week, 52 weeks out of the year. And it encompasses from everything from all of that food that we give out. Well, that doesn't come off a tree by shaking it. Mm-hmm. And so people go out and drive to different locations to pick it up. We have to have warehousing people. We have to have stocking. And then also, we're open 5 days a week, and we need crews from 5 to 7 people every day just to give out food. We also we're looking for, in order to be able to help us out, job coaches, health coaches, people who are helping in housing. We are about ready to lose our teacher. We also teach one-on-one computer skills for those who are having adult ed, which is great. We're pushing it all the time. But there's some of the seniors, they're not too seniors. I'm just saying people who are looking to change or who need to change their jobs. And so this kind of education is very beneficial to them. We are right now helping two people, for instance, with QuickBooks in order to be able to help them in their professional lives.
So it sounds like you have an open position within your organization
for
someone who's a teacher.
Yes, all kinds. Yeah.
So if they're interested in doing this, how do they reach you?
Simple. Just walk into the center. Where they're open from 8:30 to 4:30 every day.
Excellent. And that's Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday.
Right. All right. So on a Sunday, if I'm in need and I need special assistance, is there a St. Vincent dePaul hotline? Can I do something?
Let me go one more step. Also, they can go to our website, which is svdpexeter.com. And so all of this information I'm just saying is also on there. Most of the time for people on weekends that we do help out are the homeless. Ironically, they seem to, I had a call last Saturday, and we seem to be getting them on Saturdays. And what they do is they contact the Exeter Police Department, and I'm on their speed dial. And so that's how they get a hold of me, and we take it from there.
Well, speaking of volunteers, at the middle school level and at the high school level, there are kids always looking to volunteer. Would volunteering be an option for them at your facility, or do you tend to just look to have adults volunteer?
Mostly, and I'll say the reason why. It's usually just adults. For the reason is, when disaster strikes and people need help, it doesn't matter what your income level or who you are. So we've had PhDs, lawyers, many lawyers, from people from all walks of life. Last year we helped a little over 3,000 households in this area. And so needless to say, what I'm saying is more than likely a student here would probably have somebody on their street, one of their neighbors as our clients. Could very well be their teacher, could very well be their bus drivers. And quite often when the clients do come over, they also bring over sometimes their kids to come over with them. It becomes very embarrassing for them to see their classmates in that kind of a situation. So we have limited it to 18 years old in order so that we don't have those types of conflicts.
Understood. Well, Cleo, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio. Cleo Gastingway, doing God's work here in Exeter. Thank you for joining us on our premiere episode of Next Stop Exeter. If you enjoyed this show, join us again in 2 weeks because we're only going to get better. If you have any questions or comments regarding our show, send us an email at nextstopexeter exeter@gmail.com, or look us up on Facebook. Look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks. Thank you for joining us on Next Stop Exeter.